So I have played Starship Hunter a little bit in the past, but that was very early on in the Great Dark Beyond's expansion, and we were still trying to figure out what the correct build was, how many starships to include, how many controlling tools, so on and so forth. What we did know is that the Discover package was very strong with Exarch, Naielle, and the one drop. There he is, Rangari Scout. Rangari Scout is kind of carrying Hunter on his back with his partner in crime, Exarch. But what Rangari Scout does is when you discover a card, you get a copy of it. So every discovery that you have just has a little bit more value. And with Exarch and Alia making your hero power tracking, that is a lot of discovering happening, a lot of draw, a lot of value, and it allows you to double up on key pieces. The main key piece that we're looking for in Starship Hunter is Biopod, which is the one of two starship pieces that we run, and Biopod is by far the better one. Biopod is a 2-mana 2/2 with a death rattle of deal damage equal to this minion's attack to a random enemy. The previous iterations of Starship Hunter included things like Specimen Claw and where is it? The Dimensional Core. While Dimensional Core did get a buff recently, it's now 2 mana instead of 3, and Specimen Claw does have its applications. Really, these pieces just weren't great, and they did not contribute to the main game plan. And that main game plan is creating a starship with as many biopods as possible so that you can OTK your opponent with a yelling Yodeler to activate the death rattle of your massive starship twice. This usually results in the starship dealing like 60 damage minimum, and that is usually enough to put the opponent away. Anyway, that is pretty much Starship Hunter and all the changes that have been made recently, and there are some minor number changes that I made here and there to make it my own. The only card that I'm kind of on the fence about right now is Scarab Keychain. I like the early game of this card, and I do like that it discovers a card, but a 1-mana 1/1 is not very impactful. So I'm kind of on the fence about this one, but everything else in this list I like quite a bit. So if you like Hearthstone content like this, I know I'm kind of straying away from my usual budget content, but if you like Hearthstone content like this, please consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, or if you're already down there subscribing, please consider hitting a like button. It does help these videos a lot. And if you do try out Starship Hunter, please let me know how it does for you. It's a ton of fun, and I hope you have fun with it as much as I have. Let's get into some games. Warrior, usually control, and control warrior is typically a pretty easy time for this deck. So Biopod, Ravenous Kraken to get more Biopods. Probably looking at a turn 5 play, because most people know to remove the Biopod, so you can't Kraken it. End the turn. Birdwatching is exactly what we want to see on turn 2. So maybe this can find us an Exarch. No such luck. We'll get a Rangari Scout out, though, for future discover value. Shield block. Very exciting matchup we have here with me and my opponent. And bird watching right off the top with a Rangari Scout is absolutely insane. And let's keep the insanity going with a Biopod. So next turn, double Biopod. Pretty easy to slam down. Aftershock, board wipe number 1 in the books. So let's go double Biopod. Now if they have another Aftershock, that's okay. Perfect. And there's no reason to try to snipe it. It's the same thing. Okay. So we'll go with the original plan of Biopod, eat it. swing 4 more in the turn. So we currently have 2 biopods in there, representing 4 biopods. A little bit of ham action. Got our Titan. We miss him. We miss the Titan. We'll just go with a defense crystal. Let's just do a double trade, get ham off the table. Just an honest to goodness hero power. End the turn. So we are really juicing up our starship, and our opponent is responding by doing very little. They're going to try to armor out of this. Okay. Okay. The clock is ticking towards turn 9. Just in case they run Dirty Rat, I am not going to play any of these. So let's just deploy a nice big board for them to deal with. Soften up that life total a little bit. If they have MC tech, they can steal a biopod. Huge. Pretty massive. They would likely want to steal a 3-4 instead. Build up their starship. And the starship grows. And they're gonna continue to get a little bit of armor out of the deal. Oh, big boy Ceaseless. And very exciting turn coming up here. Watch this. That's all I got. That's all I got. No weapons. A little bit of hydration. A little hydration station going on. And my opponent is like aggressively dead. Yeah. They are incredibly dead. Yodeler's gonna deal like 30 over or something. Yeah. I'm not sure Control Warrior can do much against this deck outside of Ham being like eating both my biopods, but outside of that, this deck just absolutely clowns on these like super hard control decks. Probably hand buff. Kind of hope it's hand buff, because Linessa combo is pretty intense for this deck. Throw back the Titan, keep our beautiful 1-drops. The best card in our deck, Rangari Scout. Ooh, and his partner in crime, Alien Encounters. Okay. Still a tough matchup. They're pretty fast. Tempted to coin Rangari Keychain, but they can just magnetize. Nah, let's just find our 2-drop. Ice Trap is worthless in this matchup. I don't believe I run any elementals, so let's... An oldie but a goodie Fairy Dragon. Here to save the day. Makes sense. So they don't have the coin. So they can't kill Fairy Dragon with just a weapon swing. So, let's deploy that while it can still be good. Would love to see a double trade into my 3-2. I doubt that'll happen though. Probably looking at a coin defense crystal next turn. There's an argument to keep the coin to maybe do a little bit better with do our combo turn a little faster. I think it's probably just a defense crystal. And the turn, they'll likely go weapon attack into this, also 2/2 into this. Yep. And then that will turn on our laser barrage to clean up their board a little bit. Perfect. So let's get our Rangari. Keychain. Keychain will find... Is it ever travel agent for more discovering? Sure. Sure. Let's get some discover action going. And honestly, laser barrage might have more value than what I'm giving it. So let's do a little bit of traveling. Oh, that's actually so good. Let's give us some stuff, some reborn. Okay. Game plan found. God, that's awesome. Okay. Okay. Pretty good. So ideally they just go double face with their minions. No. Wait. Maybe. Maybe not, though. No. I respect it. You gotta respect it. And I think I have enough value in my hand with double mosh pit, so let's just get one location off this. Choose a damaged minion, summon a copy of it that goes dormant for a turn. That could be funny. That could be a bit on the funny side. So let's just go with a laser barrage and clean up that fella. And let's go alien encounters. We are quite a ways away from the Ceaseless Expanse being playable, but we'll get there. I believe in us. So ideally we find another defense crystal or a biopod for our mosh pit. Used to run this card in my Starship Death Knight deck that I love so much. The amount of health this card gains you is just like absolutely insane. Yeah, I'm never gonna kill that 8/8. Unfortunately. So my hand's looking like a bit of a stinker right now. But I do think I can squeak in some, choose a damaged minion, send me in a copy of it. Sure, yeah. Hero power, soften him up a little bit. You can get another taunt out of the deal. So this hand is, like, incredibly awkward. We're hoping to find an Exarch, or tracking would also be great. Again, Biopod would be the absolute best case scenario. Seems like they're running maybe a more budget version of hand buff. I usually don't see the Astral Serpent in these decks. Yep. That's pretty dang strong. There's no way they don't attack with this. They don't attack with the 8/8. Okay, they value 2 cards over 8 damage. I think it's necessary to laser barrage before I star power. So star power can deal 9, 12, 15 damage, and that looks like more than 15. So let's play it safe. Yeah, definitely needed to do that laser barrage. And let's end the turn there. So their hand is absolutely stacked. 8 whole cards. And my hand is looking like a hand. Definitely a hand I've seen before. Yep. The plushie. Very strong card. Another serpent. Exodar is pretty terrible right now. But at the same time, let's launch it. Let's launch it. Get a Starship piece back. And I'm actually going to save this for a mosh pit. That makes sense to me. Let's get this serpent off the table. But also deploy some alien encounters again. And end the turn. The awkward hand continues to be awkward. All we can do is just taunt up and hope for the best. They have... Maybe my plan is fatigue because of their many serpents. Another plushie. A little air guitarist value. I always love running this card in the more budget builds of this deck. We're panning. Okay, perfect. Let's get to moving. I think Birdwatching, actually. And Birdwatching will find Sasquawk. Let's go for a defense crystal. Give him a little bit of reborn. And let's also Birdwatching, or I guess a yelling Yodeler. Damaged minion and summon a copy of it. I think I actually just want to deal with this guy. Wouldn't mind having a little bit of a lifesteal guy. And let's shove 2 damage for no reason. Probably could have bumped into there now that I think about it. But you know, thinking is thinking's tough. Thinking is a for sure tough move. So we'll gain a little bit of life off of our Tigress plushie. Gain a lot of life off of our Starship. And we're likely just going to be trading our board of everything. So we can, Sasquawk.
Music to my ears.
Yep. Yep. All makes sense to me. We are definitely approaching a Ceaseless Expanse turn. And my opponent is trading a little bit more than I thought they were going to. Yep. Good play on their part there. Let's gain a little bit while we can. And I'm actually going to be a little greedy and play myself a Sasquawk. A lot more value than I remember in there. And let's get a little bit more health out of the deal. But also get out a troubled mechanic. So yet again, we are gaining 12 health off of this. 16 if you count that 4. 18 if you count this 2. A reborn defense crystal is kind of messed up. If you can't tell from all this armor. Yep. Yep. Biopod. I think it's actually worth it to Biopod, but also reborn it before I Ceaseless Expanse. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So let's just get some damage in. But I also think I do need to trade that in. Biopod. Reborn it. Turns out I did not need to trade that in. Unless... No, I didn't need to trade in. Anyway. Let's go with a Ceaseless. But also a defense crystal to do the same trick. And let's yeah, I agree. Hunter has way too much controlling tools. Anyway, also that location, the mosh pit, and the achievement or quest thing, whatever. Not bad. Getting all the gold. Getting ready for the mini set. Even more gold.